So Monday, the Lucky Duck Foundation announced the launch of a new San Diego County-wide employment and job training initiative to provide work opportunities and on-the-job training for people who are experiencing homelessness.
Joining us on the KOGO News Live Line, Lucky Duck Foundation Executive Director Drew Moser. Good morning, Drew.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us about this initiative.
Yeah, it's an investment of $1 million to provide employment and job training opportunities for folks who find themselves homeless. We invested $1 million a couple of years ago in this type of program, and the outcomes are really, really strong. And so we said, we need to do this again, and we think with this iteration we can do it bigger and better. And so the whole point is to provide folks with opportunities to be hired immediately, either through the service provider where they're currently sheltering, or to provide the appropriate level of job training so they can go out and secure long-term employment. There's more folks that are living homeless cite employment as a key factor in ending their homelessness more than affordable housing. And then there's also data that we have October 1 of last year, or October 1 of 20 through October 1 of 21, it says 90% of the homeless population was unemployed. Typically that number is closer to 70%. And so for these reasons and more, we're excited to invest this $1 million really to help people find a much brighter and more self-sustaining path in life.
It's interesting because if you ask, any given San Diegan on any given day, they'll give you a different reason that they think that homelessness is such a huge issue here. And they range from, drug and alcohol issues to mental health issues to the high cost of living. It seems to span a wide range. What are you finding from talking to people who are experiencing homelessness? What are you finding are the key reasons that they're having such a tough time out there? For instance, in this job market, it seems like anybody can get hired, but it just doesn't seem to be happening.
Yeah, loss of income and the cost of housing, you said, are two key driving factors, and people can unfortunately quickly find themselves in perilous circumstances. But that's why we've invested heavily in this effort. Is we continue to hear it over and over again that these employment and work opportunities put them on a completely different trajectory, and not only provide income, but give them a good amount of meaning and fulfillment, that dignified feeling of a good day's work. One quick example is there's a great partnership between the Salvation Army and Feeding San Diego and Lucky Duck Foundation that hires shelter residents at the Salvation Army, trains them to be food rescue route drivers. They operate routes provided by Feeding San Diego, and then we provide the funding to cover the wages and the gas. This program's rescued almost 500,000 pounds of food to date, and every single participant that's gone through it has secured housing, is still housed, and has secured full-time employment. And so it's not handouts, hand-ups, and really a chance to help people kind of help themselves and get connected to employment and job training programs. And that's just one of about a dozen or so different programs that we're able to get behind.
And let's talk about a few of those programs, just, so people kind of get an idea of what jobs you are able to train folks for. I mean, who are you partnering with and what jobs are they?
Yeah, so I mentioned Feeding San Diego Salvation Army. Another one is through the San Diego College of Continuing Education, which has more than 75 different certificate and training programs, case management, paid internships, and direct access to community college that for those that want to pursue a college education. Another one is a program specifically for transition age youth, 18 to 24-year-old kids that find themselves homeless, and that's through Urban Street Angels and UPAC, and it will put them through basically culinary and restaurant training, but there's also a print shop where they can learn how to not only print but use their graphic design skills and artistic capabilities to create some really neat designs that they can then take those skills on and invest in their own print shop with a pretty modest startup cost. So those are just a few examples.
Well, that sounds great. Lucky Duck Foundation Executive Director Drew Moser. We're out of time, but thank you so much for the information.
Thanks for having us on.